Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome to the Pugilistic Linguistic Show. I am your host, Michael Foster, the voice of reason in an increasingly unreasonable world. And I am back. Before I get started, like I say all the time, tell your friends, tell your Romans, tell your countrymen about this podcast. I'm now on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, love, hate, whatever you want to do. Just spread this to the masses. Like I say before, if you like it, tell everybody. If you hate it, tell everybody. Friends don't let friends hate alone. So y'all can get together and hate this podcast together. That is fine with me. But in the meantime, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications when new episodes drop, what have you. So I realized that I become insufferable during election season. It's a flaw of mine. I fully acknowledge it, especially for an election cycle that I'm actually interested in. I become insufferable. Um, I believe what I believe, and I have no problem telling you what I believe, and this is why I believe what I believe. This is what I do. This is Politics has become my wheelhouse. It's my fastball. I don't miss those. So the last few cycles have been really, I've been really engaged with reason. The last few cycles had Donald Trump as one of the combatants. So that's enough to drive you to the polls. Now, the thing is, on one hand, the rise of Trump has been really the downfall of the nation. But on another hand, it has been absolutely enlightening. Like, there's hope for all of us non-lawyer, non-whatevers who aspire to public office. Because America has just lowered the bar for running for something. Now, don't get me wrong. There is no parameters in the Constitution that say you have to be this, you have to be that. I think all it says, as far as president is concerned, 35 years old, natural born citizen. I believe that's the only thing that has in there as far as the qualifications to become president. Senators like 30 years old or 25, something like that. But it doesn't have a provision for, you must be an attorney. You must be head of Harvard Law. You must be a constitutional scholar. You must be this. No. But the rise of Trump has also said you don't even need to be competent to run for president. That gives folk like me a chance. We get happy. You don't have to have a clean background to become president. You could have wives and mistresses and illegitimate kids and you sleep with porn stars and bankruptcies and money laundering. You can do all that and still become president. See, that gives me hope. That means the skeletons in my closet, the cemeteries in my closet may not be a hindrance to becoming president. Now, I'm kind of semi-joking here because I know damn well I can't have the same baggage as Donald Trump has and run for president, let alone be elected for president. I mean, let's be real here. Barack Obama could not have 1/10 of the baggage that Trump has. Kamala Harris cannot have 1/10 of the baggage that Trump had or has and effectively run for president. Barack Obama had a wife, one, with 2 kids, with that one wife. And like Cat Williams says, he didn't breed pit bull puppies, or he ain't, he don't sell CDs on the corner, he don't sell loose cigarettes, whatever. And he was still demonized. So I'm being semi-facetious when I say I got a chance, because I know better. But when you set the rules of the game, you can't complain when somebody plays it the way you set the rules. So, all that being said, the rise of Trump gives me hope. And at the same time brings me down. It's really complex. Like, I'll just say this. I have no clue. I have no understanding how this race is still close. Regardless of if you back the dude. Okay, fine. You back the cat. He your guy. Okay, fine. You like his policies, even though he has concepts of a plan. It has no plan, but whatever. I don't understand how all the ancillary shit doesn't disqualify him. Like, you don't care about veterans, MAGA folk. Because if you did, the stuff he pulled at Arlington Cemetery would be disqualified, or the things he does to Gold Star families would be disqualified, or even before that, when he called people who died in war suckers and losers, would be disqualified if you loved veterans. If you have a woman in your life that you love and you want her to be the best her that she could be, how is he not disqualified for the things that he has done to women and the things that he has pledged to do for women, and he said he is proud that he had done to women as far as taking their freedom to decide their own bodies? If you have a woman in your life that you love, how does he not disqualify himself? How do you contort yourself into pretzels trying to justify your love for this guy? The cognitive dissonance is amazing. But the thing is, I don't understand how the things that he does doesn't disqualify the Haitian dog thing in Ohio. Forget the fact that it's an absolutely idiotic story. It's a lie. It was a known lie before it came out of his mouth. How does that not disqualify him? Your racism is showing. And the reason why I say that is because you're willing to believe it because you want to believe it. You want to believe that dark-skinned folk do that kind of things because you are afraid of them. And the killing part about the whole thing is the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, before all this thing jumped off, they were law-abiding citizens who were asked to come to that town to revitalize their economy. The white folk that were in Springfield, Ohio, allowed that town to start to die. So just like every other time, they import some dark-skinned folk to save us, and then once they do, you demonize them. Let's just keep it a buck. You demonize the folk that you asked to come. They work in your factories. They revitalize your economy. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, an influx of 15,000 legal immigrants. They are legal. 15,000 illegal immigrants might put a strain on city resources because you're not expecting that kind of influx at once. I get that. That is a conversation you can have. That is a legitimate conversation. How do we support each other while we build the infrastructure to help this influx? That is a fair conversation. They're eating dogs and cats is not a fair conversation. And the woman who started all this, see, this is what kills me about 2024's America. One person in one corner of the world who sits in their living room and puts something on Facebook, it gets all the way to the presidency. This woman in Springfield, Ohio, I think the cat's name was Miss Sassy, was missing. And the thing is, this is what bothers me. Her first instinct was not, my cat ran away. Her first instinct was not, my cat hiding somewhere. Or you know how animals go off and just die because they know they're about to die. Her first instinct wasn't, my cat left. Her first instinct was, the folk next door ate him. Now that right there speaks to a larger issue. Because why is that your first instinct? Them folk ate my cat. Do they normally eat cats? Have you seen them have a cat barbecue? Have you seen them have a party where they had cats lined up in the backyard and on a spit or something? I mean, how is that the first thing you think? But whatever, you put it on Facebook. Everybody puts things on Facebook, but it goes mega viral, and then J.D. Vance grabs hold to it. Laura Looney grabs hold to it and tells Donald Trump, and he ain't got enough good sense to. No good rumor can go uncirculated, even though he was told up front this ain't true. Who you gonna believe, me or your lying eyes? So, but see that right there, the lady, I can't think of her name right now, but the lady with the cat of Miss Sassy is why Donald Trump is still in his race, because people like that exist in this country. They want to believe that dark-skinned people are evil. They want to believe that they're coming over the border by the millions and they're taking all our jobs and they're killing our people and they're committing all these crimes. Do you understand that an undocumented immigrant who shows up in this country after walking through 7, 8 different countries in 3 months with kids on their backs, they are less likely to commit a crime in this country? Why? They busted their asses to get here. Why would they turn around and commit a crime that would get them deported to the country that they walked away from? Think about it logically. I'm going to keep my nose clean in this country that I shouldn't be in, because the last thing I want is for them to realize I'm here and send me back to where I came from. That makes more sense than a Venezuelan gang taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, and nobody reports on it. See, the thing about these Republicans nowadays, they feel like they got some Svengali-esque understanding of news, and they are in it, and they don't want to be clouded by the bullshit because they don't know anything. It's easy to feel like you're superior as far as the news is concerned when you're making up the news. It's easy to say, well, I got this intel on this because nobody's reporting on it. When you make it up, look, y'all, ain't no Venezuelan gang taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado to set up some gang. Like, let's think about this critically. Put yourself in the shoes of a Venezuelan gang. What's my end game here? What do I want out of taking over an apartment complex? What do I get out of this? Well, it helps funnel the drugs, and you can set up your drug. This ain't Nino Brown at the Carter. What the hell, y'all? This ain't New Jack City. Venezuelan gangs that want to funnel drugs, that want to hustle drugs in this country, they've got efficient avenues to do it. How about we go back to this border crossing bill or this border bill that hires all these border patrol agents that Donald Trump killed? Let's start there. Reinstate that, and maybe we can get these Venezuelan gangs out of apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado. But what's the end game here? If you're a Venezuelan gang. Now, do cartels exist in this country? Oh, yes. Do they come across the border and commit crime? Oh, yes. I'm not naive enough to say what doesn't happen. No. And that's its own issue that we need to deal with. But it's not this issue. It's not this issue. This is a different issue. So, the thing about all this, now, as far as Trump and his supporters are concerned, look, they do exist. For the life of me, I don't understand it. I've said this before, and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. This is not about Republican and Democrat. Your dislike for Trump or your like for Trump or whatever is not a political thing. It's not a difference in politics. It's a difference in humanity. Because as much as I didn't like George W. Bush, or as much as I wouldn't have liked a John McCain, or wouldn't have liked a Mitt Romney or something like that, I would not have minded had they become president. I would have understood. I would have disagreed with them on their policies, but I would not have feared for the direction of our country. I would not have feared for the direction of our country. I would not have worried about them dismantling the Constitution, even though Bush was close. But I would not have feared about them dismantling, them suspending the Constitution or anything like that. At their core, I'll speak to Romney and McCain. At their core, I believe they were good men. We just disagreed on politics. Trump is a difference in humanity. He is not a good man. He has no character. He is devoid of soul. And let's keep it funky. He's not running for president because he wants to be president. He's running for president to stay out of jail. Keep it a buck. And the killing part about it is his supporters don't get it. He'll say anything to stay out of jail. He'll say anything to get a vote to stay out of jail. That's what this is all about. Not wearing orange. Well, other than the orange on his face. So, I understand that these MAGA people exist. I understand he still has support. But the thing about Trump's support is it tops out. I think he is maxed out 45, 46%. He's maxed out. Now, don't get me wrong, it's 46% of the country, which is frightening, but it's still 46%. He is maxed out. He has reached his ceiling. And the thing is, he's not trying to expand his voting base. He's not interested in that. That's why he doubles and triples down on the same talking points. What he's trying to do is, he's not trying to appeal to new people. He's trying to get out more of the old people. And I don't mean old by elderly. I mean old as far as existing folk. His strategy is, I don't need anybody new. If I can just get all the same people to come out, that's enough. He got 75 million people to vote for him last time. I mean, that's undeniable. 75 million people had decided to vote for somebody who does not have their best interests at heart. And the killer is, most of them know this. So that's your baseline number, 75 million. So the rise of Trump is baffling to me. But I also think that the country is just exhausted with Trumpism. Just exhausted. We're just tired. You know, he was a novelty act in 2016. He was a novelty. You know, he was interesting to some people. He was boring to me because I've seen it all. But to some people, he was interesting. Okay, fine. But his shtick is just wearing thin. Woe is me. Everybody's against me. Nobody's treating me well. Nobody's kissing my ass. Nobody's kissing the ring. Nobody's treating me like a king. Nobody's this. No, it's always a grievance after grievance after grievance after grievance. And he is so aggrieved. He is so this. He is so... I've never seen a billionaire that has so many grievances. He is so whiny. You can tell somebody who has had his ass kissed all his life and nobody's kissing his ass anymore and he don't know how to handle it. I'm the worst treated person in the history of people. Get the fuck out of here. You were born with 2 silver spoons in your mouth. Inherited hundreds of millions of dollars, wasted it, declared 6 bankruptcies, and you're still revered. Sounds like a charmed life to me. I mean, he is just so aggrieved. Just whiny. And then you got J.P. Mandel, D. Vance, whatever the hell his name is, who is biblically bad at this. Like, I will never salt on a man for not being able to be a good public speaker. You know, public speaking, engaging with the crowd, engaging with an audience, that's a skill. That's a talent that some people don't have. You know, I mean, hey, you know, it is what it is. J.P. Mandel D. Vance is biblically bad at this. Like, I've never seen somebody who has negative charisma. Like you take the most charismatic dude on earth and stand him in front of J.P. Mandel D. Vance and they lose charisma because he is like a black hole to charisma. He has zero ability to connect with people. It's fascinating. But he has become Donald Trump's doubling downer. He's going to double down on everything Trump says, regardless. Regardless of how dumb it sounds, regardless of what perfect example about J.D. Mandel D. Vance. I think that's going to be his name now. His marriage is not going to last after this selection cycle. Because when you go on stage and you refuse to support immigrants or to defend an immigrant against a false allegation or against a racist remark, like Laura Loomer said about Kamala, if she gets elected, she's going to have the White House going to smell like curry and collard greens. No, collard greens, because you don't even know what the hell that is. When you ain't find it amongst yourself to condemn that as a unnecessary, unneeded racist statement about Indians and black folk, and your wife, J.D. Mandel P. Vance, JP, whatever the hell your name is, your wife is a daughter of Indian immigrants, and you can't even defend it. How do you go home at night and look at her in the face? Hey, baby, it's just a game. We going to the White House. It don't matter how I shit on you. I'm gonna get you somewhere. What? What woman allows that? What woman is gonna look at her husband and say, he can shit on me all he wants. He's gonna be the next vice president, so I'm okay with it. She might be that kind of person. Who knows? She could be one of those barefoot and pregnant women that J.D. Vance loves to talk about when he goes out, whose only job is to have children, and whose parents' only job, these postmenopausal women he speaks about, their only job is to take care of the kids. Maybe that's what he got. But if she's any kind of woman, I don't see how she stays with him after all this. Because he has proven he is devoid of soul. He is a younger version of Trump. And the kicker is he hated Trump in 2016. He called him Nazi. He called him a Hitler, America's Hitler. He called him that on camera. So, look, you vote who you vote for. A difference, Donald Trump is not a difference in politics. He's not a difference in policy. He's a difference in humanity. I question your humanity. I question who you are as a person if you support Donald Trump. But as I said in the beginning, Donald Trump's support gives me hope. From the standpoint of, hell, maybe I ain't that bad. Maybe I too can run for an office. He set the rules. You can no longer hold me to a higher standard than you held him. So as I run for something, I'm going to, I'm actually not going to run for anything because ain't nobody, they'll mess around and assassinate me when I'm trying to run. But if I ran for something, I'm going to use him as my excuse. You didn't hold Donald Trump to that standard. You're not going to hold me to that standard. That simple. So get out. Vote. November 5th, I believe. If you haven't figured out by now, I'm all for Kamala. Get out and vote. Let's let's put normalcy back into the public sphere. Let's just let's just find a human. That's how bad. That's how low we've fallen as a society, to where just being normal is a selling trait. Let's just be normal. Kamala's normal. She has character. Let's put her in office. You ain't got to agree with every policy. Since when did you agree with every policy of every politician that you voted for? Put her in office because she's the adult in the room. And no, I'm not getting any money from the Harris campaign. I wish I would. Somebody send me some money. No, I'm just kidding. But I do have PayPal and Cash App, and if you want to support, I don't have a Patreon yet. I'm working on that. But get out and vote. All right. So as I get down, as I said before, as I said at the beginning, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the notification bell. Um, Tell your friends, Romans, and your countrymen about this podcast. Get it out to the masses. And until we meet again, please remember, never trust a big button to smile. All right? Peace.